Hana Ku is actually it's a term that we use in Hana. And when we were young and even till today, it kind of has negative connotation. And we used to tease each other like, why, how come you don't know that? You went, what, you Hana Ku? You know, like, backcountry, you simple, you don't know any better. And I thought we really needed to switch the mentality on Hana Ku because it doesn't mean that at all. Hana, of course, is to work, Hana, but Hana with the kahaku over it, it's a much higher level of work. It's thoughtful kind of work. And Ku, of course, is to stand or it's upright, but Ku is also ascension. And so for me, like this kind of attention to what you do that brings about ascension, that brings about a higher level of awareness and is always trying to push you forwards and upwards is really what we wanted to promote with the families and with Hana Ku. And so I felt like maybe if we have a program that embodies the true meaning of Hana Ku, we can change that perception.
It affects all other parts of the...
Hana Ku basically started really talking about our families in Hana and recognizing that there is this kind of unbroken generational knowledge that has been passed down that has to do with sustainable living. And so I wanted a way to celebrate that people here still continue to do those practices. And so Hana Ku became this way to help articulate that for them. Hana Ku also was a way for us to bring in these amazing chefs that really understand the importance of where we get our food, and them having the respect for that process helped to celebrate our families. And so we had these two kind of groups of people, chefs, and we had these hunters and fishermen who are really passionate about what they do. And when you bring two passionate people together about what they do, magic happens.
The noodle as it stretches.
Coming into it, all I knew was that we were going to be, kind of sharing stories and food and having some cultural experiences with the families of Hana.
I know as chefs, we think it's about us, but when we come to Hana Ku, the roles change. It's about the families,
This family was the Park Ohana, and they were a big family, very humble. And in a small community like this, most people are, related in some way to these big families.
I'm the youngest of four, born and raised here in Hana, grew up down in Kauai. Growing up over here as a kid was awesome. We eat a lot from the ocean. We eat a lot from the land, from the mountain. What I know today is passed down through my dad, through my older siblings, down to me. We took the chefs down below where I grew up, where my family grew up, down a place called Kanivai. This place down here was for the families in this area who live here still. They'll come down into this place and come gather whatever they need.
Going to Kanivai, you can see just the rugged terrain, no sand, just like rugged rocks, crashing waves. You can feel the power of the ocean there. So yeah, that was cool.
I jumped in the water to do a little dive. Dove into Ka'ukio Bay, right below my family's place.
For me, I don't really get to dive all the time, those kind of spots. So I got to see the terrain and see the different types of fish and the different sizes of fish that, I'm not used to.
As a family, we always was taught, take enough to eat there, so the next family can come in and gather here.
It was really cool to see how these multi-generations still use these practices regularly, and it's regular because they're still good at it and comfortable with it. And I got to learn how to throw net, which was pretty cool for me.
That was my first time throwing net. Yeah, embarrassing to say. Yeah. And it's a lot harder. I mean, he makes it look so easy. Kala being only 16, he's incredibly well-versed in what he does. And he brings a calm energy. And so I just watched him, his movement. And then he walked me through it, giving me tips that I'm shorter than him. So try to make the loops a little bit longer. Yeah, so he just walked me through it really well.
They understand that we are here to learn and to share those experiences, and to finally get the net to work and have all the older brothers kind of applauding me and giving me high fives and stuff was pretty cool.
It was good. It was a good experience for us. Because they're totally out of their element, and we bringing them into what we know, it's a good experience for us and for them too, yeah.
Dave, Andrew, and I were talking about this in the kitchen, what was the highlight. When we found a holy, holy ball, with no hesitation, the boys are, okay, we're gonna chance them.
I mean, at the time, I didn't really even know what was happening, and because they were speechless in what their attempts were, but they all kind of knew what their goal was.
I felt like I was in the pack of lions, just going on the hunt, just waiting for the right moment. And then all of a sudden, a coordinated attack,
A couple of kids jumping on one side and a couple of kids jumping on the other side and start splashing around, and they scared a school of ahole into this little pocket, and one of the uncles threw the net, and we only got a couple on that catch, but to see it all happen was kind of amazing. The camaraderie in the kitchen is very much like an athletic team, but that was just it was as natural and important to them as anything. I mean, literally, there was 3 generations of people involved, but they all knew what was going on, It's pretty amazing.
We appreciate getting all the food and appreciate the fresh products because it's right here. I mean, we're literally frying a holy, holy, still kicking.
For me, watching them cook and do everything for us, we don't see that kind of stuff, We so used to the way we cook, We go home, we cut up whatever, and we slap them together. It was awesome for seeing them prepare our food in their way.
It's like strangers get together, and sometimes you just have that level playing field and common denominator being the food, and the conversation comes easy, and all of a sudden people kind of let their guard down and start sharing stories.
I was pretty stoked last night at 12:30 in the morning. Dave's banging out pasta. Once everybody found out Dave was making pasta, everybody's in the kitchen watching,
I took out the pasta crank, and it was cool to watch them all be as nervous when I asked if they wanted to roll pasta as I was when they asked me if I wanted to throw net,
I walked into the kitchen, they're all there, oh, perfect, you can do it now. I was like, what are you doing? Oh, making pasta. So I just watched him demonstrate how to do it first, and then I did it after that, and it was my first time, but I think I did pretty good.
Nice job, Connor.
Those types of experiences are really what brings everybody together, and the things I remember, those impromptu things, are really what kind of makes the whole weekend come together. Now, the cooking aspect comes easy for us, that's what we do every day, but we're here for the families, We're here to make them realize that their knowledge and their history and their lineage and their families matter,
I think in one word, it's just transformative. Seeing this I don't see it at all from my daily life at all. Just knowing that practices like this, the old way, is still being perpetuated, I think is extremely valuable. There's no price on that, especially in this day and age. So I think that should be cherished and protected, nurtured, because it grounds you, it humbles you, and it brings you back to the core of what is important, which is family, tradition, and food.